My dad used to have a saying that the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The next best time is today. Well, unfortunately, as far as this property is concerned, we didn't have an opportunity 10 years ago. So, with a little help from Mother Nature, we're hoping that the tree planting that's taking place over the next few days here will provide some cover and some bedding area for deer for the next several years. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and keep up to date on what our latest progress is on our deer hunting territory. It's tree planting day today, or at least the first of a couple or three. We have a really nice day to plant, except that the sandflies or the black flies have come out, so that makes it a little bit tough. But we've got about 500 trees here. They're all Norway or red pine from the Minnesota DNR. We ordered them late in the winter, and we have them here now. So I spent some time the other day getting some area ready to plant, as far as cutting down overburden, some brush, and some of the tall perennials, dead perennials from last year, and we're ready to go here. One of the things that is necessary is to have a tree planter of some kind. This one works really well. My friend Rob made this for me, actually made a couple of them for me, and I've planted a lot of trees with that planter. The trees themselves, like I said, they're red pine. They vary from about 6 inches long to some of them are a foot or better. They're a really good stock. They look like really good, healthy trees. And the real key here, until we get them into the ground, is to make sure that we keep the roots wet so that they don't dry out. Once they dry out, the tree will die in a hurry. So we're going to get them into the ground here, as many of them as we can today. Tomorrow's the opening day of fishing season, so I won't be planting then. But then on Sunday I'll be back out here, and if I have some left to plant, I'll try to get them all done on Sunday. The big problem in this area is that there's so much rock. It's hard to find a place where you can get the planter in deep enough to get the roots all in into the ground. So it takes a little hunting around to make that happen. But if you're patient and dig around a little bit, eventually you'll find places for all of these trees. So we'll get a few more planted, and hope this goes well. It's easy to see what some of the problems are here as far as trying to get trees planted in this part of the country. There are an awful lot of rocks, big boulders to small fieldstone sized rocks, and you have to find a place to get in between those in order to get some ground enough to get these trees fully planted so that the roots are in. Another problem we've faced this spring compared to many other years is that the rain just hasn't come so far. It's the end of May, and we've only had a quarter of an inch of rain in the last 3 weeks, so very unusual for this type of year. And the forecast kind of indicates that that's what it's going to be like for the next couple of weeks as well. So as far as getting these trees in, you have to get them in as soon as they arrive from the Department of Natural Resources, and hopefully, you know, the rain, the moisture in the ground will be enough to keep the roots viable until they can really get going and started on their own. So we're crossing our fingers that we get some rain soon, and these are all in the ground now. We're kind of committed. So if the rain doesn't come, we'll have lost these trees. If the rain does come, we should have some great habitat. Just a bit of an update on some of the other projects we've had going. The licking sticks are still working. I've got trail cams on the two that I have out, and have been really surprised and happy with the results that we've had from those so far. The deer are still coming to them. They're still using them, and as you can see, the antlers are starting to grow on some of the bucks, and it's a real good indicator that these things are going to be a good addition to our property. I've had a lot of people that have come up and asked about the red osier dogwood plantings that I've done, and quick update on that. When I looked at the YouTube videos of people that were doing this, they said it would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 weeks to 2 months before you'd actually get root balls that would start to form and growth start to take place. And we're getting close to that 6 week area right now. They also indicated that there should be about 70 to 90% success rate with these if you do it correctly. What I found with what I have going, that I've got about 10% success rate at this point. So I think the concept is good, and my technique is probably going to have to be improved if we're going to have more success with this in the future. In keeping with the idea that this is a total habitat management project, in addition to the work that I'm doing with tree planting and food plot, I'm also planting some milkweed, a couple of different kinds of milkweed, to help establish a butterfly, insect, bird, particularly hummingbird type of habitat. So we'll see how this goes. I've got a couple of different varieties planted, and hopefully they'll add to what I already have going. Well, the food plant is ready to plant. We had our first hurdle, I think, taken care of this past week. We had 3 nights of freezing temperatures, which never is good for planting season, but we're past that, and it looks like, as far as the forecast is concerned, out far enough that we won't have to worry about the freeze taking place anymore. We do have to be concerned about the rain. As I've mentioned before, we haven't had much in the last month. The forecast is for only spotty rain over the next couple of weeks. So the biggest thing that we'll have to do right now is to look at the forecast and find a 2 or 3 or 4 day window where we have plenty of rain in order to germinate the seed and to get it going so that it has roots developing before we get to some dryness again. So that's the biggest factor coming up, and we'll deal with that as we go along here the next couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll be able to get some seed in the ground and make this a completed, or at least a semi-completed project. So if you like what you're seeing here, please subscribe, and we'll have another update here as soon as we can start planting some seed, and you can see how our habitat management in the boreal forest continues to go.